All right, folks. Whenever I see a social media clip, something that everybody's commenting on, one of the first things I do is play it again. Then play it again to ensure I heard what I said, and then I want to hear the context of what was being said. So when I saw this clip about a comment that California Governor Gavin Newsom made during a fireside chat with the mayor of Atlanta, I went, what did he say? And I'll play it again. Well, that clip, oh my God, he is facing massive criticism. After telling an audience, and see, here's the problem. Here's the problem. The assumption is that because he was in Atlanta and because he was sitting with Mayor Andre Dickens, it's a Black audience.
Who was it?
Everybody keeps saying that. Reporters and producers and people on social media say he was telling a Black audience in Atlanta that he's just like them because he scored low on the SAT and he can't read. That's the assumption people made. So we're going to play the clip. Here you go.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Okay. Play it again, and I want y'all to listen.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Okay.
Play it again.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Lord, folks been losing their minds. A whole bunch of Black folks been posting stuff. How dare he? I scored this on my SAT. I scored this on my SAT. They were just going on and on and on. They were going crazy. And again, everybody, if you look at the response, oh my God, how did he was talking? He was talking to a Black room. It was a room filled with Black people because he was in Atlanta. And again, a lot of people, white people, Black people, jumping to conclusions. But here's the deal: Mark Lamont, he posted some video on his social media. Let me play it for you. This is what Mark posted. These are people in line to see Gavin Newsom. This is his book tour. I just want y'all to look at the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna play again.
People.
I just want y'all to look at the audience. Look at the audience. Okay, I'm gonna play. This is a video on the inside. This is not a soul power audience I'm looking at. Okay. All right. Now, here's the deal. It wasn't a black audience. So if you are a social media person or a media person and you immediately jump to the conclusion that because Gavin Newsom was in Atlanta, can I help y'all out? Atlanta is not 100% black.
Hello.
Atlanta is not 50% black. In fact, because of the population shift to outer counties, Atlanta's actually no longer majority black. There are white people in Atlanta. But this is the problem with people in their media. So they just automatically assume, oh, black audience, Newsom made a comment, he was talking to black people. Now, if you actually dissect what he says, what he was saying was, I am no better than anybody else here. I didn't do a 15, 1600 on my SAT. I'm dyslexic. I remind people that was a storyline in the Cosby Show. Bill Cosby's actual son, Ennis, was dyslexic, and that became a thing on the Cosby Show. Theo Huxtable talked about dyslexia. So here's the piece. So when he says, I'm just like everybody else, he wasn't being demeaning, saying, guess what? I'm dumb just like y'all dumb. I can't read like y'all can't read. The problem, all these people who are responding, and I've seen, oh my God, black folks, progressive, white folks, even some on the right. Now, the crazy thing is, I've seen some white conservatives go, that's not what Newsom said. See people say, man, I disagree with Newsom on everything, but that's not what he said. Y'all, nuance matters. So if you listen to what he says, he's using an example by saying, listen, I'm not some hoity-toity, A student. I didn't kill it. He's like, I'm a regular person. That's literally what he was saying. But this is what happens though. So the mistake is for people to automatically assume he was talking to a room full of black people. So I'll just give an example. Imagine if I was giving a speech in Des Moines, Iowa, and I have the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner. So let's say I gave a speech and someone says, oh my God, did you hear what Roland Martin said to that nearly all white audience? Well, if you never see the audience, there are no pictures or video, then you don't actually know who I was talking to. Context matters. If you heard me make some comments about black men, and, oh my God, did you hear what Roland Martin said about black men? Was I talking to a room full of black men? Was I talking to a room full of black women? The reality is, when people speak, you are also tailoring messaging to the room. This silly, stupid story is a perfect example of folk making assumptions, and they made racial assumptions in what he had to say, but they made racial assumptions of who was in the room, and all the folk who did look like fools because they were wrong. Congo, this is just stupid.
Yeah, this was one that when I saw it, I said, I need to wait before commenting on this, because people can talk about a lot of issues with Gavin Newsom, but even though I couldn't really see him doing something like that or saying something like that in front of a bunch of black people, I think the implications, he would know better. But I was like, let me wait and see. I think also it's like, is black people playing on our own assumptions and stereotypes about ourselves, right? Because for us to automatically assume that because those comments were made, he was in front of a black audience talking about lack of intelligence and the like, that kind of plays to like what I wrote about in my Lies About Black People book in terms of the stereotypes that we tell ourselves. So I think that's problematic. And thirdly, you're absolutely right about how in this media age, the inability to fact check and the inability to actually do research. So many people are rushing and they want to be rushed rather than be right. And that is a real big problem. And of course, you got AI and deep fakes and all of that other type of stuff out there as well. But this is just like basic journalism 101 as it relates to the research. People can talk about the comments, whether they're inappropriate, but to say that it was all black people and you ain't seen who was there, that's a problem. And so I think this is a good opportunity for a relatively light example, given all the other stuff that's going on, for all of us who are in this space to do a little bit of a reset in and how we process information, how quick we are to share information, and how quick many of us are to not do our fact checks. I think this is a great example of that, and the way you're breaking it down and what Mark Lamont Hill did as well is extremely necessary, and more of us need to be doing that before we jump to conclusions.
Oh, absolutely. Thelma, I'm going to pull up this tweet here. This is hilarious. Give me a second.
Don't tell me it's me.
No. This is hilarious. So, let's see here. Do I have it ready? I think I do. So Sean Hannity goes, Gavin Newsom thinks a 960 SAT makes him like Black Americans. Let that sink in. Well, Gavin Newsom did not waste any time responding back. He said, you didn't give a shit about the president of the United States of America posting an ape video of President Obama or calling African nations shitholes, but you're going to call me racist for talking about my lifelong struggle with dyslexia? Spare me your fake fucking outrage, Sean.
Well, Roland, you should hear.
Hold on, Scott. That was for Thelma. Hold on, Scott. Hold on. That was for Thelma.
One thing about Gavin is he's going to clear it every fucking time. And the thing that I see when we're talking about outrage, and I need Black people to read the fucking room. And well, we saw that they didn't read the fucking room, but read the damn social media room. If the people in the fucking room, I'm talking about the big people that was in the fucking room, did not come out and say a goddamn thing about what he said. Why are you letting MAGA and its bots rile you up? We're sitting, this man was sitting on stage. Y'all are mad that he's talking about his mediocre test scores. Yes, a white man being mediocre is normal in this country. He's telling you about a disorder that is authentic because it's relatable to other individuals who struggle. Everybody is not the brightest bulb in the fucking ceiling. You don't have to, he literally is telling you, you do not have to have the best test score to be a governor or hell, to be the fucking president. We all have struggles. We all can relate to each other in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Everybody is not going to be at the top. So prepare yourself based off of where you are, and you can too get to wherever your heart desires. But for the Black people to allow these bots and these MAGA conspiracy theorists to come out here and play in y'all fucking face when we need to be sticking to the fucking script and making sure that we are putting belted ass in these fucking elections. We do not need to be distracted by something that does not even exist. This outrage should not be a fucking outrage.
Nuance in context is kind of important, Scott.
Yeah, but you should see the texts I'm getting while I'm doing your show from people with law degrees, MBAs, who are following this narrative that Newsom, people you and I know that are following this narrative. You know, I'm texting them saying, watch Roland Martin show right now. Watch it right now. It was a white audience. When he said you, he was talking to an audience full of white people, and he was using the euphemism you generally, not you individually, not you Black people, not even you white people, that you, I'm like you, the common man. I'm no brilliant scientist or neurologist of some kind. My goodness, I got that part. Now, but look at the racial dynamic, though, because it's in Atlanta. Had he said that to a room full of Black children, okay, I'd get your outrage. If he said it in front of Black people, yeah, I'd get your outrage, but I still think you were ignorant, because in the context of that interview, in what he was saying that he was no better than you, no better than the average American or the average voter. And he struggled with dyslexia. My goodness gracious. But you see, social media, there's no filter, and there's not a whole lot of intelligence either. So hopefully you got a couple more views from your
yeah. I mean, I just think,
mutual friends, because they're people with degrees are putting it out there. That's the danger of it.
It's because, and again, this is the mistake. It's because they're like, oh, Gavin Newsom was in Atlanta, had to be a room full of Black people. No, it was a room full of white people. It was mostly white. Now, maybe what y'all should be asking is, damn, Gavin Newsom on a book tour and goes to Atlanta, and damn near nobody Black was there. That's a different story.
Exactly.
But also, when a person, this is the problem that people, when a person is talking, again, a person can say something like, hey, man, I ain't no better than y'all. I'm not no better than y'all.
Right.
That's not like, oh, y'all, I made a 960, so y'all did too. No, it's a statement. Again, it drives me crazy when folk don't want to deal with nuance and context and allow people to have a conversation. That to me is just utterly insane. And here's also the knee jerk. The knee jerk is, well, I need to throw my credentials to say I'm not one of them. That's true. And let me be as real clear as possible. I don't give a shit if you made a 1500 or 1400 or 1200 or 1080. I really don't. Because you know what? Here's what I know. All I know is this here. I know I didn't make a damn 1,000 SAT. I know I ain't make 960. You know why? Because I didn't give a shit about that test.
Hello.
I was already, let me be real clear, y'all. I didn't give a damn about the SAT because I was already admitted to college. I was in the top 10%. Yo, I was like the night before, I was kicking it, listening to music. I was like, all right, let me go ahead and just sign my name. Yo, I want to take a nap that early damn morning on a Saturday. It didn't mean nothing. And you know what? I'm just gonna be real sorry, okay? And listen, I know some people gotten all upset, but I really don't care. The bottom line is this here. There are some fields that you go in and you're gonna need all that stuff, but there's some other stuff you're not gonna need it. You know when I graduated? December 1991. And when I sat on that floor, it was a whole bunch of people to my left and a whole bunch of people to my right and a whole bunch of people in front of me and a whole bunch of people behind me who did not have a job. And I remember, because it was a huge graduating class, I walked across the street to the Memorial Student Center at Texas A&M. My brother's like, man, where you going? Because he graduated the year before. I was like, man, I'm going to get a newspaper. I said, hell, we're going to be here a while. And I went and bought a USA Today. On the cover of the USA Today business section was a story on how difficult it was for college graduates to get jobs. And my Black ass was sitting right there reading that paper like, I ain't got that problem because I had my job for a whole damn month. And you know what? In the first year and a half of my career, I got promoted 3 times. My lifelong dreams in my career I achieved by the time I was 29. Guess what? That SAT score and a damn GPA in college didn't have shit to do with none of that. So folk just need to go ahead and just cut this nonsense. Y'all, it wasn't a hit on Black people. Because the only Black person who was in the room really was Mayor Andre. We wasn't even in the room. He was talking to white people. So you know what? This is white people's business.
This
is white people business. So let white governor talking to a room full of white people. Ain't got nothing to do with us. So I just like, please, y'all, spare me all the little silly ass emotion because y'all get on my damn nerves. Somebody says, Roland, you're not impressed with 1,500 on the SAT because you didn't do it. Oh, let me be real clear, sports actuary. It's a whole bunch of people who got 1,500 on the SAT who not in 4 halls of fame.
Hello, Mike. Close laptop.
True.